at how we can draw something called a Hasse diagram for the set of divisors or factors of 60, which is a partially ordered set. Okay, so a Hasse diagram is a picture of a Poset or partially ordered set where the relation like that we're working with in the Poset, such as is a factor of, in this case, when we draw it, we only draw a minimal amount of arrows. For instance, we want to draw paths that are the longest. So 60, 12, 6, maybe like 2 and 1. Okay, so this is the longest path from 1 all the way up to 60. Now we know by transitivity that if 1 is a factor of 2 and 2 is a factor of 6, then 1 is a factor of 6. Okay, so there really is an arrow here, but we're not going to draw it in the Hasse diagram. There's a lot of arrows would be drawing along the way. So we only have longest paths, and by transitivity we know where the remaining arrows will go. Also, we don't draw self-loops because by reflexivity we know that that we have those, and so we just take them for granted. So minimally we don't need to draw those. And we just kind of get our longest paths here. Okay, so as we move along, how are we going to do this? We're going to start by thinking of factors of 60, prime factors of 60. So 5, 3, and 2. Okay, so when we do that, so we have 5, 3, and 2. All right, so maybe, for instance, so these are prime numbers, and each of these arrows is going to be associated with it to get a factor that's closest to 60 just by dividing by one of the prime numbers. So for instance, we could divide by 5, for instance, here, and get 12. So it'll be like a 5 arrow. And then we could divide by 2 and get 30. We could divide by 3, for instance, and get 20. Okay, so there we go. Then we could, on the next level, we could think, using these prime numbers, we could go again. Could divide by, this one can't divide by 5, but we could divide by 3 and get 4. So 3 arrow and you get 4. You could divide by 2 and get 6. For 30, you could divide by 5, get 6. You could divide by 3, so 2. You divide by 2 and get 15. You can divide by 3 and get 10. 20, you can divide by 2 and get 10. You can't divide by 3, but you can divide by 5 and you get 4. And that's kind of, okay, these were like this, but now this is going to be a crossover over here. So you have an arrow coming across. Okay, but at least it's a Hasse diagram. So from 4. Okay, so dividing by 5. So we have that level done. Now we go to the next one, and we think, okay, factors of 4. We can only divide by 2. So let's divide by 2, and we'll get 2. Okay, 6 we can divide by 3. And we can also divide by 2 to get 3. 15 we can divide by 5. And we can divide by 3 to get 5. And then 5 is a factor of 10. So let's see, yeah, but 10 we're dividing by only 2 and 5. We can't divide by 3, so we divide by 2 to get 5. And then we have one more 5 to get 2. So really we have another arrow coming back over here, right there. Okay, and then the only thing that's left for these is just to go down to 1. And, we just started going at this without really knowing exactly where things would cross or not. However, we got all the arrows just by thinking about prime factors one at a time. Thanks for watching.